Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. We are here on Christmas Eve. Can you believe it? Yeah, Santa's almost coming. We're very excited, because as you know, Santa is Canadian. And yeah, we're close personal friends with him because, we believe. Absolutely, Bear. We believe. So Santa is Canadian, in case there's any wonder about that. He happens to live here. So, yes, I've been to the workshop. It's impressive. And Mrs. Claus is so good at baking cookies. But she's also very good at managing everything. Because, she does that. And she doesn't get enough credit. So we wanted to share an extra special book with you on it being December 23rd, Christmas Eve. And we thought that this would be a wonderful one to share. It's kind of an evening, let's see, Christmas series. I think it's still Bear's Book Corner, but it's Bear's Christmas Book Corner. And we have a guest that has not come all this year, but is going to come now. Maybe some of you might remember him from last year. Hey, Maxie, you had fun, right? You had fun last year. Come on by. The people want to see you. Yeah, come on by. He's got that big horn on the top of his head, Mwah, mwah, mwah. Hello, everybody. Yeah, I just want to say, welcome. And it is Christmas time, and I'm so grateful to Cheryl because she rescued me from the Grinch. He is good now, but he was not good. I still have this horn on my head. Can anybody help me out with that? Yeah, we're going to take care of that for Maxie, actually. But I thought it worked for the Christmas season. Yeah, well, I still help out. I still do some things for Santa, because I'm kind of a reindeer-esque quality, like reindeer adjacent. Well done you, reindeer adjacent. I love you, Maxie. I love you. I love everybody. Mwah, mwah. I'm very excited to be a part of this cool December 23rd opportunity. Wow. And I saw the book. Do they know about the book? They don't know. They don't know. Yeah, we ordered this a while ago and it came out 2024 on Amazon. And yay, I've been having me some good Amazon times. Today's Amazon haul was quite extraordinary. Let's just say I'm buying myself presents and it's a good time. It's a good time to be me. So there you go. This is my Jesus Christmas hat from last year. So, yeah, we're working on it. So baby's going to help. Yeah, I thought I'd maybe get the book. It's big. So I'm going to actually ask Maxie if he will help me to grab it. I will. I will. Yeah, okay. Happy to help. Thanks, you guys. Yes, it's a super big book. It's actually Hogwarts. It's Hogwarts Christmas, and I couldn't believe it. I thought it was so extraordinary, and I thought I want to share it with you. By all means, please buy it. Please support them because the people just, made this glorious book. I thought you would anyway, because if you're a Harry Potter fan, you're going to want this book because this book's extraordinary. And I thought there's no way that we can end any kind of a series without doing this. And we got a few more books. Braden's got a book coming up, for his Braden's books. He really wants to share it with you. He's very excited. And we may have a couple of other surprises up our sleeve. But right now, we're going to go get you the most amazing book that I've seen these many days, if you're a Hogwarts fan. Okay. I know, you guys, it's pretty big, isn't it? Don't worry, I'll help. Boom. Hogwarts Christmas. Christmas at Hogwarts. Isn't that glorious? Okay, it's not really like the books. They did a new, they have a new artist. She's actually from Vancouver, apparently. Vancouver, BC. They have a new artist. So this is her conceptualization. But I think it works. What do you guys think? There's the Christmas trees, there's the floating candles. Again, it's really not hyper realistic. It's kind of conceptual, but I mean, I don't think it's, that bad. Okay, let's see if we can do this because this is a big book. Okay, you guys just hang out. Yeah, I'll chat with Maxie, see what's going on. Okay, there it is. And everybody knows what a crazy, amazingly amazing fan I am of Harry Potter. And I think the biggest reason probably is because he gets rescued. And I just so much wanted to get rescued when I was younger, and I did not. So I love that he did. But then you know what? You don't realize that you're the one that rescues yourself. So I guess I did get rescued in the end. So that's good. Let's keep going, you guys. Ooh, look at this. They have a new illustrator. I mean, I don't know. She's okay. I mean, she's not bad. I like the more hyper-realistic sometimes when you're talking about Harry Potter, but she did an all right job. It's, it's quite grand if you think about it. Christmas was coming. One morning in mid-December, Hogwarts woke to find itself covered in several feet of snow. Because if you know, they're kind of out in the country, right? They're not really around anybody or anything. So it snows there pretty often. You can see that, right? Yeah, I'm trying to find a way you can see it. Because it's lovely. Okay. And the pages are really thick. No one could wait for the holidays to start. Well, the Gryffindor common room and the Great Hall had roaring fires. The drafty corridors had become icy, and bitter wind rattled the windows of the classroom. Oh, man. Well, it is, in fact, a castle, and it doesn't have central heating, so you can imagine how cold that must be. Yeah. But I think they use enchantments to make things warmer. I would have to. Professor McGonagall had come round the week before, making a list of students who would be staying for the holidays. And Harry, well, he signed up at once. He didn't feel sorry for himself at all. This would probably be the best Christmas he ever had. Because if you remember, the Dursley treated him very, very badly. He didn't even get many presents, and he was kind of not even well fed, so he was happy to stay at Hogwarts. I know I'd feel that way too. When Harry, Ron, and Hermione left the dungeons at the end of Potions, they found a large fir tree blocking the corridor ahead. Oh, you guys can't see me. Two enormous feet sticking out at the bottom, and a loud puffing sound told them it was Hagrid. Hagrid was behind it. Hi, Hagrid. You want any help? Ron asked, sticking his head through the branches. Nah, I'm all right. Thanks, Ron. I tell you what, come with me and see the Great Hall. Looks a treat. So the three of them followed Hagrid and his tree off to the Great Hall, where Professor McGonagall and Professor Flitwick were busy with the Christmas decorations. And maybe you remember that scene from the movie. Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful. There it is. There we are. Ooh, you might be able to get this other places, but I got it off the Amazon Prime. Hagrid, the last tree. Would you put it in the far corner, would you? The hall looked spectacular. Festoons of holly and mistletoe hung all around the walls, and no fewer than 12 Christmas trees stood around the room, some sparkling with tiny icicles, some glittering with hundreds of candles. Of course, we know nowadays candles are not safe on Christmas trees, but that is what people used to do way back in the day. That is what people used to do. How many days you got left till your holidays? Hagrid asked. Oh, just one, said Hermione. So, wow, they're almost getting ready to go. Because, of course, she's going back to be with her mom and dad, who are dentists. Once the holidays had started, Ron and Harry had the dormitory to themselves, and the common room was far emptier than usual, so they were able to get the good armchairs by the fire. They sat by the hour eating anything they could spear on a toasting fork, bread, crumpets, marshmallows, and plotting ways of getting Malfoy expelled, which were fun to talk about even if they wouldn't work. Can you imagine how fun this is for Harry? Just seriously for a moment. You know, he's got friends now. He's warm. He's well fed. You know, he's got a best friend in Ron. He must be having such a better Christmas. I know what he feels like. On Christmas Eve, Harry went to bed looking forward to the next day for food and for fun, but not expecting any presents at all. He woke up early the next morning, however, and the first thing he saw was a small pile of packages at the foot of his bed. "Happy Christmas," said Ron sleepily as Harry scrambled out of bed and pulled on his dressing gown. "You too," said Harry. "Will you look at this? I've got some presents." "Well, you didn't expect turnips," said Ron, turning his own pile, which was a lot bigger than Harry's, because, of course, think about all the family he has, and maybe friends, too. He has quite a bit more than Harry. Keep going. Harry picked up the top parcel. It was wrapped in thick brown paper, and scrawled across it was "To Harry, from Hagrid." Inside was a roughly cut wooden flute. Hagrid had obviously whittled it himself. Harry blew it. It sounded a bit like an owl. A second, very small parcel contained a note. "We received your message and enclosed your Christmas present from Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia." Sellotaped to the note was a 50-cent piece. "That's friendly," said Harry. He doesn't really know why they're even giving him anything. But they did. Ron was fascinated by the 50 pence. Because it's English money, right? "Weird," he said. "What a shape. This is money?" "You can keep it," said Harry, laughing at how pleased Ron was. Because Ron's never seen Muggle money before. He's only seen the galleons, you know, the wizard money from Gringotts. "Hagrid and my aunt and uncle. So who sent these?" "I think I know who's that one's from," said Ron, going a bit pink and pointing to a very lumpy parcel. "My mom. I told her you didn't expect any presents, and oh no," he groaned, "she made you a Wesley jumper." Now, of course, in the UK, sweaters are called jumpers. They're exactly the same thing. They're sweaters, but for whatever reason, they call them jumpers. I don't know why, like who's jumping? But that's what they call them. Oh, drink break. Okay, I'm going to enjoy my Merry Grinchmas cup. Merry Grinchmas, everybody. Although we know that Jesus is the reason for the season. So, Merry Christmas as well. Okay, where were we? Does anybody know? Okay, thanks, guys. Harry had torn open the parcel to find a thick hand-knitted sweater in emerald green and a large box of homemade fudge. Man, ain't nothing like homemade fudge. Okay, everybody, favorite fudges. Okay, my absolute favorite fudge, I think, has got to be maple fudge, because you know I'm Canadian. And that's just good. And you can get it from Purdy's, that good chocolate store that I was telling you about. That's glorious. And you can also make it yourself. And I think there's lots of other kinds of fudges. I think I had candy cane fudge once. That was glorious. I think it's like white chocolate, you know, and then they have like pieces of candy cane in it. Now that is incredible. Yeah. Okay. Every year she makes us a jumper, said Ron, unwrapping his own, and mine's always maroon, because maroon is a color. I really like maroon as a color. That's very nice of her, said Harry, trying the fudge, which was very tasty. His next present also contained sweets, a large box of chocolate frogs from Hermione, because they don't call it candy, they call it sweets, which is actually fine because it's sweet. So you can see why. They don't actually call it candy, they call it sweets. So that's that page. Let's see where else we are. And can you imagine how beautiful it was that Hagrid made him a present? I mean, and he spent time doing it. Now that's something to really appreciate. I mean, some person spent some time making that for him. This left only one parcel. Harry picked it up and felt it. It was very light. He unwrapped it. Something fluid and silvery gray went slithering to the floor, where it lay in gleaming folds. Ron gasped. "I've heard of those," he said in a hushed voice, dropping the box of every flavor beans that he got from Hermione. "If that's what I think it is, they're really rare and really valuable." "What is it?" Harry picked up the shining silvery cloth off the floor. It was strange to the touch, like water woven into material. "It's an invisibility cloak," said Ron, with a look of awe in his face. "I'm sure it is. Try it on." Harry threw the cloak around his shoulders, and Ron gave a yell. "It is! Look down!" Harry looked down at his feet, but they had gone. He dashed to the mirror. Sure enough, his reflection looked back at him, but just his head, suspended in midair. His body was completely invisible. He pulled the cloak over his head, and his reflection vanished completely. Oh my goodness, what would you guys think about that? I mean, it might be interesting to have one. So, let's see. "There's a note," said Ron suddenly. "A note fell out of it." Harry pulled off the cloak and seized the letter. Written in narrow, loopy writing he had never seen before were the following words. "Your father left this in my possession before he died. It is time it was returned to you. Use it well. A very Merry Christmas to you." There was no signature. Harry stared at the note. Ron was admiring the cloak. "I'd give anything for one of these," he said. "Anything." "What's the matter?" Nothing," said Harry. He felt very strange. Who'd sent the cloak? Had it really once belonged to his father? What do you guys think? That must have been amazing because he never did meet his father. He never did know his father. So I don't think he knew then who actually sent it. So it must have been so wonderful to get something that his father actually owned. Absolutely. Well, let's keep looking. Oh, we got some more fun stuff. Before he could say or think anything else, the dormitory floor, that would be interesting. The floor flung open. But no, it's the door. It is Hogwarts, though. The door flung open, and Fred and George Weasley bounded in. Harry stuffed the cloak quickly out of sight. He didn't feel like sharing it with anyone right now. "Merry Christmas! Hey, look! Harry's got a Weasley jumper, too." Fred and George were wearing their blue jumpers, one with a large yellow F on it and one with a large yellow G. "Harry's is better than ours, though," said Fred, holding up Harry's jumper. She obviously makes more of an effort when you're not family. Of course, they're kidding. They actually love their mother. She is actually just the salt of the earth, right? And so is their dad, which is so funny because Harry's aunt and uncle are such awful people, you know? Let's see. Why aren't you wearing yours, Ron? George demanded. Come on, get it on. They're lovely and warm. I hate maroon. George moaned half-heartedly as he pulled it over his head. You haven't got a letter on yours, George observed. I suppose she thinks you don't forget your name. But we're not stupid. We know we're called Gred and Forge. See, they're kidding right there, right? And of course, they're the twins, so they are Ron's brothers. Because I believe this is the first year. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, this is the first year. What's all that noise? Percy stuck his head through the door, looking disapproving. He clearly had come halfway through unwrapping his presents as he, too, carried a lumpy jumper over his arm, which Fred seized. P for prefect! Get it on, Percy, because, of course, Percy was a prefect. We're all wearing ours. Even Harry's got one. I don't want, said Percy thickly as the twins forced the jumper over his head, knocking his glasses askew. And you're not sitting with prefects today either, said George. Christmas is a time for family. Christmas is a time for family. Whether they're your friends that have become your family or whether they're your real family, they are people that you get to be with. And I think it's beautiful. And Bear is my family, as we know. And Maxie. They frog-marched Percy from the room, his arms pinned to the sides by his jumper. There he is. Because if you might remember, all the Weasleys were there at home because they wanted to visit their elder brother who was working with dragons in Romania. And of course, little Ginny, who was only 10, she was actually with them. So that's what they were doing. Okay, let's see it. Then they have the Christmas lunch. I believe in the UK they have a Christmas lunch, not kind of a Christmas dinner. So I think that's what they're doing. Harry had never in all his life had such a Christmas dinner. 100 fat roast turkeys, mountains of roast and boiled potatoes, platters of fat chipotlatas, tureens of buttered peas, silver bowls of thick, rich gravy, and cranberry sauce. Everybody, what's your favorite? The jelly kind or the whole berry? We used to make our own back in the day when my mom was alive, and you put mandarin oranges back when mandarin oranges were a thing, and it was glorious. But now I don't really have any, but I'm thinking of trying some this year. Again, seeing if I can eat it. I'm thinking the jelly one, just because I seem to like that one better for some weird reason. You know, Ocean Spray. They do a good job. Ooh, and stacks of wizard crackers every few feet along the table. And of course, Christmas crackers are a really big British thing. You might have seen them. They're this, it looks like a toilet paper tube, but it's got 2 pieces of paper on the end. And then you open it and it goes bang. And then they have all kinds of toys and hats in them. It's something we used to do back in the day. I love Christmas crackers. So it says here, these fantastic crackers were nothing like the feeble muggle ones the Dursleys usually bought, with their little plastic toys and their flimsy paper hats. Harry pulled a wizard cracker with Fred, and it didn't just bang. It went off like a blast, like a cannon, and engulfed all of them in a cloud of blue smoke, while from the inside exploded a rear admiral's hat and several live white mice. Up on the high table, Dumbledore had swapped his pointed wizard's hat for a flowered bonnet and was chuckling merrily at a joke Professor Flitwick had just read him. So that sounds like just a wonderful Christmas celebration. Don't you think? Wouldn't you like to be there? Oh, I know I'd like to be there. Okay, everybody. What is your wizarding house? My wizarding house is Gryffindor, but I think it could be, well, it could be Ravenclaw again, but also no, because of the blue. It isn't really Hufflepuff, although I am actually very friendly and very generous and very loyal. So, to a fault. But no Hufflepuff for me. Gryffindor! That's me. Okay. Oh, did we see this? I think we did. Yeah. Well, it bears repeating. Okay. Flaming Christmas puddings followed the turkey. Now, if you remember from our antique Christmas Carol book, it's actually like a Christmas cake, but they call it a pudding because they call puddings cakes, I think. And then they douse it with brandy and then they set it on fire. It's a very British thing. It's very British. Flaming Christmas puddings followed the turkey. Percy nearly broke his teeth on a silver sickle embedded in his slice, and they used to put money in it. It's an old-fashioned thing they would do, and it's a really stupid thing because you'd hurt yourself, right? Because there's money in the cake, and you bite the money. So, but that's a British thing they do too. Harry watched Hagrid getting redder and redder in the face as he called for more wine, finally kissing Professor McGonagall on the cheek, who, to Harry's amazement, giggled and blushed, her top hat lopsided. When Harry finally left the table, he was laden down with a stack of things out of the crackers, including a pack of non-explodable, luminous balloons, a grow-your-own-warts kit, and his own new wizard's chess set. The white mice had disappeared, and Harry had a nasty feeling they were going to end up as Miss Norris's Christmas dinner. Well, let's hope that's not true. We'll see. Okay, so that was kind of lunchtime, maybe, Harry and the Weasleys spent a happy afternoon having a furious snowball fight in the grounds. Then, cold and wet and gasping for breath, they returned to the fire in the Gryffindor common room, where Harry broke in his new chess set by losing spectacularly to Ron. He suspected he wouldn't have lost so badly if Percy hadn't tried to help him so much. Doesn't that look like a fun day? Oh, man, I remember when I used to go out in the snow. It was really good. Because, it didn't snow very much in BC, in British Columbia, where I am. But it was beautiful when it did, especially at Christmas. After a tea of turkey sandwiches, so this is kind of like an early supper. Maybe 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Kind of, they don't really call their supper tea, but they do have this thing called tea, which is kind of like a late lunch, and it's kind of like a really late lunch, like an early supper almost, and so that's what they're eating. After a tea of turkey sandwiches, crumpets, trifle, and Christmas cake, everyone was too full and sleepy to do much before bed, except sit and watch Percy chase Fred and George all over Gryffindor Tower because they'd stolen his prefect badge. And that seems kind of mean, but I think they mean it in jest because they all love each other. So I think they're actually having a good time. I think. Okay. And I think one of the most beautiful things about the story is the abundance, right? There's just so much, and Harry's not used to it. But he gets used to it, which is so wonderful. There's always good things to eat, always people to talk to, and his magic really supports everybody and himself and helps him, and he makes a life, and it's so beautiful to see that. I think it is. It had been Harry's best Christmas ever. Yet something had been nagging at the back of his mind all day. Not until he climbed into bed and was free to think about it the invisibility cloak. And who sent it? Ron, full of turkey and cake and with nothing mysterious to bother him, fell asleep almost as soon as he'd drawn the curtains of his four-poster bed. Harry leaned over the side of his own bed and pulled the cloak out from under it. Who do you think gave him the cloak, you guys? Put it into comments, whoever you think. His father's. This had been his father's. He let the material flow over his hands, smoother than silk, light as air. Use it well, the note said. He had to try it now. He slipped out of bed and wrapped the cloak around himself. Looking down at his legs, he only saw moonlight and shadows. It was a very funny feeling. Use it well. And that is the story, everybody. What do you think? Pretty amazing, isn't it? That is the story. Oh, I'm going to have them come back. Hello, everybody. We're back. Oh, man, did I really like that one. I'm such a fan of Harry Potter as much as Cheryl is. Well, and I liked it too. I thought it was really good, actually, because I'm starting to see more things and do more things. And I'm so glad Harry got rescued, too, because I kind of got rescued by Cheryl, so that's good news. Well, you deserve it, wonderful, and very good, Maxie. And we're so happy that you're living with us now. So everybody, just want to say Merry Christmas to you and have just such a blessed night. And we'll see you again, hopefully tomorrow. Bye, everybody.